I want to share an observation with you today that I genuinely feel could help. So, over the past 8 years now, I've been in a pretty unique position. I've had over 430 conversations with this very Let It In podcast that you're watching with scientists, mystics, doctors, spiritual teachers. Gosh, people who've had near death experiences and everyday people who've overcome what seemed like impossible odds. But at the same time, I've facilitated hundreds of workshops, events, and retreats in person, by the way, witnessing thousands of people transform right in front of me. And that's no exaggeration. And through all of that, I keep coming back to the same conclusion. We've got life, well, a lot of it anyway, backwards. We got it backwards. So today I want to share with you 10 truths that keep revealing themselves to me over this time. And these are the 10 things that if I could go back in time and have a conversation with myself, I'd simply say, mate, start with these 10. All right, let's do it. Okay, so 10 truths. And just to help as well, it's funny, I get in front of the camera and I realize I'm really windswept. I've been on my bike and I jump in. I should pay more attention. Anyway, who cares, right? I'm just being me. So what was I on about? Okay, 10 truths. So what I would recommend as well is that take some notes. There'll be timestamps below this YouTube video, or if you're listening to the audio, in the description as well, so you can refer to and come back to. And I'll skip through the 10 points. I don't want to blow these solo podcast episodes out. But at the same time, think of this as an opportunity for you to start to explore within your own life and see what resonates, because you will find as they jump out, it can certainly open things up. So, number one, awareness is the foundation of all transformation, period. Every breakthrough begins with awareness. Awareness for me is simply starting to shine light onto areas that we are not shining the light in our life on. When you think about the totality of the universe, let's go big for a sec, right? And for me, anything outside myself in the universe is absolute truth. That is how it operates. And then we've got us that is then filtered into this human being, and we've got the mind, and we've got the construct of the mind that is then limiting that information. And through our life's experiences, from moment of conception, through the experience of childhood to adulthood to life, we are then formulating our own truths based upon our experiences of the world and what our inner world has been shaped by. Does that make sense? So then we are then seeing a version of truth, but not the truth. And for me, what I noticed in my life, that this journey, if you distill it down to one simple thing, was that when I was born and I come in as a pure, beautiful essence of a baby, it's like you're open, and then the data is coming in. And that information through my culture, through my parenting, parents and life, schools, experiences, all that was shaping me. And what I found is that I lost more and more of myself from that journey. And ultimately, this journey for me is about coming back into alignment and being congruent of what that essence of me is about, which is beyond the mind. And that to me is where it starts to bring into awareness. Okay. And so ultimately it's a search for truth. Yeah. And you could break it down, like we have teachings around awareness itself. And in our awareness model, the first fundamental of our reconnected framework, we have three sections to that awareness pillar, which is inner awareness, outer awareness, and deep listening. So actually starting to bring your awareness internally, you can start to get information, which lead me into the next point in a minute. An external awareness is starting to bring awareness to the very things that we haven't been focusing on in our lives. That's want to start to reveal themselves. Through meditation practices is all a deepening of awareness to start to then, go beyond the mind and actually start not to bring the mind, judgment, story, experience, past experiences into it. So awareness is the foundation of all transformation. So what I want you to do is listen to this question for a moment and let it land before I get on to point two. What truths about my life have I been unwilling to face? So that's what I would say to my former self. Awareness, and what truths am I resisting? Am I not leaning into? And I feel that's where this work really meets the rubber, meets the road. Okay, so that's point one. So, okay, truth number two. Let's keep rolling. Okay, your body is far more intelligent than you've been taught. You've heard me go on about this before. The body is a miracle. The body is the wild stallion, it's the horse. Our consciousness is the rider. And the body isn't just, what have I got written here? The body isn't just carrying you through life. It is constantly communicating with you through sensation, intuition, emotion, and energy. And I feel through the pace of life, through the pace of technology and the way we are living now, we've lost the innate ability to truly feel. And we've disconnected from ourselves. And it's amazing how disconnected we are. And the more disconnected we are, the more we actually go to the mind and try to resolve things from logic. Okay? But the mind, we can logically come up with any reason from the mind to justify our actions, our wants, our needs, and our desires, all from the mind. We are willing to drop bombs on other countries and other people and kill people through logic and justification from the mind. To me, that makes no sense. But yet this is how we continue to perpetuate it. All right. But by coming back to the body is the gateway, getting beyond the mind from the neck down and actually feeling into everything else, energetically, emotionally, sensations, and the body will communicate with you. It is phenomenal. There's many different ways of doing that. Okay, so the next time you find yourself in pain, the next time you find yourself frustrated, find yourself anxious, find yourself stressed, going through the motions in life, why didn't you stop, pause, breathe, take a breath, and then ask this question: what has my body been trying to tell me that I've been ignoring? So all of a sudden, we're bringing awareness within our lives and within ourselves. Point number two is that we're starting to bring our body on board. And these things are slowly helping us get closer to the truth and start to bring more of an alignment into our lives. Are we aligned or misaligned? Okay. Truth number three that I really feel I wish I'd told myself many, many years ago, which I did do to a degree, to be honest with you, but the heart should lead and the mind should follow. It's like the heart is the heart needs to inform the mind, but we're so conditioned again from the mind, okay, we discredit anything of the intuition. So where have I got you? The mind is an incredible servant, but is a terrible master. Wisdom comes from the body. So we hold information within the body and within the heart, and then the heart informs the mind. I did a solo podcast on this a few weeks ago on actually manifesting into your life and how we've got to flip the role around. So the more, and for the heart, you can simply start practicing, imagining you've got nostrils in your heart, and stop and breathe and bring in your awareness. You bring in that energetic, there's a huge energetic component to the heart. And that field of energy, you can start to bring online, but we're so closed-hearted. We're actually closing that energetic connection off because of the pace of life again. So where have I got here? So the question I want you to ponder on is, am I making this decision from fear or from love? That's a very simple way to start navigating from the heart more and more. So often we go to the mind. The mind is very protective. It wants the protective self, the egoic structure. We tend to make decisions based upon a fear, scarcity, lack response. How many times have you told yourself, oh, I never have enough. I never have enough money. I never have enough time. There's all this constructs of the mind and the story. And it's like, you got to get behind it, beyond it, and then dropping into the heart. Because I promise you, the heart will inform you more and more. But it's being bold, courageous, and having the courage to action what the heart is intuitively trying to communicate. So to recap, we've got awareness, the body, and now we're leaning into the heart. Huge. Am I making this decision from fear or from love? Next time you're in a situation, just ask yourself, what would love do? What would love do in this moment from that choice? Okay? You get a very different answer. Okay. Truth number 4, consciousness is fundamental. Consciousness is fundamental. We are not merely biological machines. Consciousness is primary, and our experience extends beyond the physical brain. Metacognition, becoming aware, a witness of the thought. So consciousness is fundamental. Like I kind of see, I love my mate San Ching. He's a Taoist master. He talks about in Taoism, it's called the pulse. It's the animation of all things. And that pulse then gives rise to consciousness. So it's like the field is giving rise to consciousness, and then consciousness gives rise to spirit, and spirit gives rise to energy, and energy is given rise to physical matter. Like I love that sequence of how I start to look at things. And by starting to come into terms about consciousness is fundamental, then basically that's where we need to start. It's not where we need to end in anything that we do. When you think about when you've got any challenges in our life, we're always seeking to the physical, to the known, to the tangible. But if we start going back up the river, more to the source, and start to look at how we can work with that, that will then have a ripple downstream and have a huge shift and effect on it. And for me, once I started to really fully buy into consciousness is fundamental, it really gave me the courage to act upon, which is going to lead into the next point. I'm trying to give the answer away without giving the answer away. But it gave me the courage to follow my heart more and more, because at the source of it, we are creation. We are the universe. We are life. So a question to even ponder on is, who is aware of this thought? So as your thoughts arise, as your emotions are feeling, start to feel into who is the witness? Who is the observer of this? Okay? It can really start to shift the paradigm. Okay, so number 5 then, which leads me on to, is that we're connected to a universal field of intelligence. I wholeheartedly believe this. Not from an intellect. I feel it, I know it, and I'm guided by it. There appears to be an underlying intelligence that connects all life. We don't create in isolation. We participate in something much greater. So that it's what's the word? Multi-directional field. So as we enhance our field of information through the practice and the work that we do, and what you can do, and through these things that I'm talking to, then we can connect deeper and deeper to the field of information. It's not just empty space between you and me, but we are swimming in a goldfish bowl with a fish, and yet we're so used to it, we don't even realize we're in water. Okay? But we're thirsty and nobody's taught us how to take a drink. And that's what's happening. So as you open up yourself more and more to these gifts that are coming online, which I believe everyone's speaking to about moving into 5D, coming out of this, 3D paradigm or whatever it is, we just are more and more connected. And through that bidirectional field that's informing us, it can be a great navigational guidance system through that. And you can really start exploring and open up multisensory experiences up online, which can be mind-blowing, okay? And start to have direct communication and guidance through the fields, which is phenomenal, It's only, anyway, I'm good off on tangents. So truth number 6, above all of this, which is a huge one for me, is that connection is the source of happiness. Connection. So connection to ourselves first, which we've started to lean into, which opens up to connection to others, which opens up connection to nature, Mother Earth, which opens connection up to spirit, to source, to the field. So it's through that. But when we're disconnected, we go more mind. So the more connected we feel, the more in the moment we are, the more we're just open to presence of being, and we're in a much more love-based paradigm than a fear-based paradigm. There's even a podcast I just listened to with Zach Bush and Joe Rogan. I don't know, a phenomenal podcast. I loved it. I'll make sure there's a link in the show notes for it. But interestingly, what Zach Bush was talking about, from looking under the microscope for 19 years, I believe he said, and he talked about the study of cancer but what he came to the conclusion was that the cancer cell actually is a cell that is in isolation and non-communication with the other cells and starts to go rogue, which I found really, really fascinating. And it's like you can do the same with the human. You start to put it into isolation, it'll start to degenerate and feel all sorts of emotions and feelings that aren't serving us moving forward, right? So it's easy, again, to be in a mind-based place, but I'd definitely be exploring this whole connection element to ourselves, okay? It's huge. It's huge. So question to ponder on. What part of myself have I become disconnected from? What part of myself have I become disconnected from? And ask your heart. See what opens up for you. Okay. Point number 7. We are definitely conditioned, but not defined by our conditioning. And I say this because most of our fears, reactions, and identities, I feel, are learned. They can be observed, questioned, and rewritten. I truly believe that. And for me, that gives me hope. But I quite often see a lot, especially at our live events, where somebody has believed in surrender to a pattern, a problem, or a condition, whether they've been told something or an experience from when they were young to a diagnosis, and they're just in a very certain paradigm. You know, they're on the train tracks, and they're not willing to get off them and start to look beyond that. It's only until the pain is so great that they are starting to look at that. But even when they look at that, I can hear it in the words they speak, their actions they're taking. Everything is in alignment to a conditioned response. And quite often it takes somebody outside of you, or being held in a space or coached or mentored or whatever it is, to really start to see those conditioned patterns and to be able to break them and then actually rewrite them as well. And bringing awareness to those is the first step. Actually bringing awareness to that. And sometimes awareness alone can help move those patterns. But the reason why I think it's important is because my sense of life is, as long as there's, a pulse in my body, air in my lungs, life force within me, there's always a different choice. There's always a different way to look at things beyond the conditioned patterns. It's just actually becoming aware enough to explore the very things that can be holding us back. So a great question to ask yourself is this really me, or is this something I learned? Okay, is it yours or not? Or is it somebody else's? That's a big one. When you start going through life and saying, is this mine? Or is this something I learned? Is this truth? Or is this somebody else's truth? Okay? And like, if somebody tells you you can't do it, they're just simply sharing their beliefs with you. Okay. It's up to us of how we take those on board. Point number 8. Transformation, if you want true transformation within your life, in whatever area of your life it isn't about learning more. Okay? It's about becoming more. And yes, we need to learn. We need to have an understanding and a knowing. But I've got points here. So the knowing helps change your mind. All right. So you start to become open. All right. But then the experience changes So at the root, a lot of these experiences through the practices that we teach influence the nervous system, because the nervous system is the filter between the body and your perception of reality. And depending on how all that is conditioned is what we keep informing the body. Okay, so if you can start to work with the brain and the nervous system, you can start to realign the body, the filter, and your perception so it's more harmonious in your moment-to-moment day of life. Okay, so with that, then if we keep going to the mind to fix the problem, if I'm going to read another book, listen to another podcast, we just got to be careful that we are not using it to stall an action that our heart really knows. This is why I do these kind of podcasts as well. So my goal for you and with this podcast is to obviously change your mind about something or ponder on something, but inspire you so you go and take action on it. That's the key. That's where the rubber meets the road, taking the action on it. So here's the ponderable question on that. What truth do I already know, but I'm not living yet? What truths do I already know, but I'm not living yet? And then are you going to live it? Okay. Number 9. Your inner world creates your outer experience. It sounds so simplistic, right? Your state determines how you perceive reality. The choices you make, the people you attract, and the life you build is all determined by your inner world, okay? And this is getting back to the body, really, is getting to know yourself. And for me, when I fully understood this really, really empowered me. Because if your inner world is creating your outer experience, then I'm very observant of how my inner world is being. In terms of, you could break it down from emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual through these experiences. So with my inner world can connect me to my spiritual connection and to the field. So as I deepen that relationship, my body starts to mirror that. And it starts to adapt over time, allowing me to hold a deeper and deeper resonance. And through that resonance, it might start to bring things up within my body, but I never numb them, mute them, or run away from them. And I've become more and more aware of how my internal state is, because then it actually has a direct mirroring effect of my external reality, which is pretty nuts. So the more I find myself in harmony within myself, so the actions, the choices, everything that I do, that they're all aligned with my truths, if you like, then my external world literally starts to mirror it straight back. So the more, I guess, feelings of joy, peace, love that I've conditioned into my body, which is very possible instead of the hormones of stress, pain, suffering, flipping that narrative through years and years of practice and conditioning, then my outer world mirrors that back. So I place my attention on exactly to what I'm feeling on the inside. So if I'm feeling in fight or flight or fearful or stressed or anxious, then I'm going to continue to lay my observation onto things that are going to continue to perpetuate that feeling and emotion within me, whether that be the media, the fear, the worry. There's so many things that are trying to take our attention, and all it's doing really is reflecting what's already going on internally. So the more we shift our internal state, the more your outer world changes. So in other words, stop trying to fix your outer world. Go in. Keep going in. It's counterintuitive to what we've been taught. Again, we got it backwards, right? So here's the question to ponder on. If my life is reflecting my inner state, what is it trying to show me? If my life is reflecting my inner state, what is it trying to show me? Okay. Which leads into this one. Life itself, I feel, responds to heart-centered alignment, to alignment itself. So the more aligned, and this goes all the way back to what we said at the beginning, the more aligned, so when your awareness, your body, your heart, your mind, and your actions move together, life begins to flow in ways that seem almost impossible to explain. So imagine, as you develop this mastery, that everything that you're doing is in alignment with your highest self, with that truth, that soul expression that's wanting to come through more and more in these moments. Imagine every conscious choice you made was coming from a space where you paused, breathed, connected deeper to yourself, and then chose to action from there, as opposed to just running on the automated responses that we tend to do. Sorry, got my son's clearly just got home. He's 2.5. But anyway, it's powerful. And the more we start to do that and honor ourselves, the more life just magically opens up in ways that are beyond anything that the mind can perceive, for sure. So here's the last ponderable for you on this one. Where in my life am I out of alignment with what I know to be true? Where in my life am I out of alignment with what I know to be true? Beautiful, beautiful. So I hope that helps. Have a re-listen if you need to, make some notes. It's certainly something that, and there's so many ways I could have approached this one, to be honest with you, but it's just something I just wanted to, get on the mic, speak, share with you guys, and but let me know which one rang true for you the most. What's in there? What area in your life do you know you could be working on? For sure, there's always stuff to work on, right? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And of course, if you want to find out more what I'm up to in the world, there's always links below. What country in the world I'm in, running these events and stuff. And we've got the community and self-mastery. If you want to come and join over there as well, there's plenty going on. Anyway, I will catch you soon. Much love from me. I'm actually here right now at a retreat space in Taupo, New Zealand, and it's beautiful. And it really brings home the difference between understanding this work and actually living it. Because that's what retreats can do and why we're so passionate about it. They give you the space to slow down, to reconnect, and truly let something deeper land. So it's not just an idea, but it's a lived experience. That's why we created Live in Flow. So if you've been feeling this shift in your own life and you know you're ready to go deeper, then come back to liveinflow.co to find out more.